So sorry if you guys know I have been booked and busy. If you watch my other reviews, I've been talking about it and just really apologizing because I really am sorry. I just had no idea that my filming schedule would take up so much of my time. And yeah, that's the only reason why I missed this is because I'm working. I'm a full-time actress finally, thank you Jesus, and this is my dream. I'm living it, and I do this because I love you guys and I love this show and I love engaging conversation about it, and I want it to get another season. So I'm trying to do my part as a fan of this show as well, but work comes first. Anyway, I've missed you guys so much. I've watched all 3 episodes and I'm going to try to squish them all into a reasonable amount of time within this review. So I took a few notes from each episode and just things that I wanted to talk about. So please stick with me and get into this review, or these reviews of Pose. Let's do it. Let me be very clear, and I am being as humble as I can possibly be. But baby, I would have absolutely slayed that fur challenge. Receipts. This is a bedazzled kind of fur, but where's my receipts? It's not a game. It's not a game. So Ricky is walking the balls now. I'm happy that he won. I still don't trust him. There is something about Ricky that I can't fully get behind. I think because he's a hustler through and through, this is just who he is. And I don't know if his character is going to have some kind of redemption, but I just can't trust him. I cannot trust him. Okay, so let me know in the comment section below if you have an answer to this. But I was looking at the hospitals where they kept those who were suffering with HIV and AIDS. It looked very raggedy and just unkept. I don't know if it's commentary on how HIV and AIDS patients were treated back then. I'm not sure because listen, I wasn't even born. Okay? Child, I'm seasoned, but I ain't that seasoned. So I don't know how HIV and AIDS patients were treated in hospitals in the 80s. I knew that they were terribly treated by the government, but I didn't know that the hospitals were just horrid. Let me know in the comment section below if you have any tea on that, because that shocked me. I was just like, why is this so terrible? Like, what is going on? So Angel finally got her apartment. I'm happy for her, like I am for Ricky. I don't trust it. I don't trust his apartment, especially when she said, I feel safe here. For me, that was foreshadowing on what on what's going to happen to her in the end. I don't trust, is his name Steve? I don't trust him with her, and I just feel like she's not going to have a happy ending on this show. What do you guys think? Let's discuss. Having sex during Let's Wait a While? Messy, but it was beautiful though. When Damon was late to his dance class, I'm telling you, that hit my soul, because let me tell you something. You can be late to any class, right? And your teacher will just be like, that's not okay. But you're late to like an arts class, art teachers will read you for filth. I remember running late to one of my acting classes, and I'm telling you, not only did my acting teacher read me down, she also kicked me out. And looking back at it now as an adult, I was just like, oh, I was wrong. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't prioritize my time right. And especially when it was in New York City. And you know, you can't play with those trains. They tell you what time they're leaving. They tell you what time you're getting there. You cannot play with them. I was dragging my feet. You know what I mean? I'm living in New York City. I'm living my life. And I should have got cussed out like that, right? But I was still hurt. I was still hurt. I was just like David. I didn't like being talked to like that, especially in front of these peon peers, right? But I got it together though. That was the last time she ever had to read me like that, because I was like, nah, I need this class. And she was a good teacher too. It was a great class. I learned a lot, and I grew as an actor once I got it together. So it hit me hard, but I was like, Damon, this is the best thing that ever happened to you. You got a teacher that cares. You really, really do. So I don't know if we're going to have a thing where he just trains them for the balls and doesn't perform anymore, because it seems like the balls are very exhausting for him, and it's taking away from something that could really, you know, catapult him in his career. So, and it's not that balls can't do that, but at this time that this show was filmed in, I don't think that it's really opening up careers for people at this point in the game. How in the hell do you rob a charity looking absolutely fabulous? I love the House of Abundance. I'm telling you, Electra's Abundance, her outfits, they need to put them up for auction. Those outfits will go for top dollar. Oh gosh. Sorry, my phone fell and my the glass cracked and I think I cut myself. I think I got like a piece of glass in my hand. Anyway, I'm gonna push through it because this is for you guys. Anyway, I think those outfits will go for top dollar. They're so beautiful. The costuming, whoever the costume designer is for this show, they did a fabulous job. Her outfits, you are just, not only are you lost in that time when you see how she's dressed, you're also lost in that scene. You're also lost in this mother of a house and how she just led out. The costumes, the costumes, the music. This show they really put in some money for this show, which is why I'm so shocked that it's struggling in the ratings. And I really, really hope that there's some kind of push to bring it back next season because it's such a good show. You don't have to be trans or a person of color to get this show. It's a human story and it's so good. I feel like every scene we get this juxtaposition of how Blanca leads as a mother and how Elektra leads as a mother. Because when she sat down and had that consultation with that doctor, I knew that she was going to take that money and put it down for her surgery. And although I feel for her, right? That's not how a mother leads out. That's not how a mother leads out. You know what I mean? You're supposed to look out for your children. You're supposed to look out for the house. And to go through all of that, to set up this plan, to say that you're going to get all these things to help your children, and then you take that money from the house and you put a down payment on something for you. A mother or mother is selfless. You know what I mean? You sacrifice everything so that your children could succeed. Blanca. That's the kind of mother or mother you want. And Elektra is fierce. She is fierce. She's just not a mother. She don't know how to lead out like that. She doesn't know how to be selfless. I knew that James Vanderbeek's character was going to expose Steve at some point because he was already jealous of him even when he was helping him out, with his mistress. Like, I knew that there was something that he was going to want in return, and in return, he wanted for Steve to like catapult him or like cover him like he was covering him, and Steve is not doing that. He's not playing ball, so I knew he was going to expose him. I'm not shocked by this character at all. Damon lost his flower on Christmas Day. I don't care how sweet this Steve character is played. He's trash. You're lying, and not only are you lying and cheating on your wife, you also got a mistress that you're lying to. You're taking your hard-earned money and buying gifts for both women to keep them at bay. He's just lying to everybody. He's complete trash. This character is trash, which is why I think that he is going to be Angel's downfall in the end. He's being played so sweet and so innocent, but there is something sinister and dark about this guy. I'm telling y'all. Stay watching this show, and we're going to see Steve make a turn, especially now that he has been exposed, or now that he has somebody trying to take him down. We're going to see how ruthless Steve can get. It's going to be at Angel's expense. I feel it. And then we get to this Christmas dinner. Every time I watch this show, I'm just like, I want to be a part of the house of Evangelista. Blanca is such a great mother of a house. Like, she's so, I don't know, she's just an overall good person, because this whole dinner scene, and it was just so beautiful. Like, when she gave Angel them patent leather pumps, thug tears. I cry every episode. Every episode of the show, I cry. I'm just like, wow, she's just such a powerful character, and I wish there was more like her on TV. Just somebody who's just so selfless and giving and just really draws you into a show. Blanca is that character for me. Like, every scene she's in, I'm just like, I don't know how you guys feel, but I'm always like inspired. You know what I mean? I'm just like, you know what? I could be a better sister. I could be a better friend. I could be a better daughter. Let me be like Blanca. I know it's just a fictional character, but she has such a powerful presence that it just makes you want to do things after you watch her scenes or just this show. And I think that's really great. I think that says a lot about the writers' room, that they have this character that speaks so many different ways, and it speaks action. And she makes me want to go into action for so many different reasons. And yeah, I really love Blanca. She's a well-rounded character, and I want to see more of her. Please don't cancel this FX. This is a good show. Anyway, that's where this episode ends. I'm going to do the next episode, so please stay tuned. Now, y'all wonder why we go up for this show. Now we're dealing with illegal silicone injections in the trans community and its origins, how it began, why were femme queens starting to get this kind of work done to their bodies, what was the mind behind it, and we're getting two totally different perspectives. We're getting one perspective of, I want to get this body because I want to show out in a certain runway, or I want to get this body because I want to fully feel like a woman. So it's, oh my gosh, this writer's room. I still stand by wanting more like people of color in the room, but I still think that it's the writing is just top notch. Top notch. Wait, super glue? Oh my God, I didn't know that was a thing. That's a thing? Super glue to stop the bleeding? That just sounds unhealthy, which makes sense, but wow, super glue? No, I could never. No. So I watched ahead because I was like, my heart was beating out of my chest. I was just like, I know that Ricky did not give Damon the package. So I had to skip along before I could even get to this part. And then when I figured out what happened, I was like, okay, I'm good. Because I was like, the whole entire episode, I was like shaking in my boots. It's weird to me that they don't explain what happened. Like, he just had a flu? I don't understand. It just seemed like he was really, really sick out of nowhere. And then it's nothing. Like, we didn't address like what happened or whatever, or the fever broke or whatever. I don't know. It was just, I don't know. I thought that maybe if it wasn't HIV, then maybe it was like some kind of STD, because Ricky is a hustler who's never been tested. I don't know, but I wish they would have explained what Damon was actually sick from, but it never happened. Yeah. So I wasn't ready for Detective Stabler to be Elektra's sponsor. Like, when he walked in the room, I was like, I'm not ready. Detective Stabler? So this scene with Elektra like tucking and dreading it and just hating to have to do, oh my gosh. This is, like, for somebody like me who I don't call myself an ally. You know, you gotta let people say that about you, right? But I just really feel like I'm a friend of the community and I want to help out in any way that I can, right? I don't know this part. You know what I mean? Like, it's not my life. It's not my struggle. But to see it, it's just like, wow. It's so much deeper than what you can even like imagine. So much deeper. And this scene, it was beautiful because it was just silent. It was just Elektra and just that one tear, and it spoke volumes. Ugh. And although the show gives you like great costumes, great music, wonderful reads, superb writing, it also gives you so much information, because I did not know that HIV and AIDS treatment was not covered by your health insurance. Like, so there are people who were just dying because they could not afford to take care of themselves with the treatments that they needed, and with this, you know, new disease. Like, there are so many things that you got to keep up with. So people were just dying because it was not covered by their health insurance. So if you did not have the money, you were just going to die. Sounds familiar? Vote. And Damon is still with Ricky. When will the children learn? So this backdoor silicone injection scene, listen, I was howling. I'm glad my girl Angel didn't go through with it, though. Even though Aunt Viv still did it, Angel was just like, you know what? Because listen, just because Angel is broke financially don't mean that she's still not a high-class heifer. Because Angel likes the finer things in life. She just don't have the coin, but she knows her worth. Aunt Viv, I guess she don't know her worth because she still went through with it. But this scene, I was like, oh my gosh. It's all true though. Like, I know people who have done this, and it's like, just, it's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare, but it shows you the lengths that people will go to feel whole. I love how when I'm watching the show, I see like famous, like, you know, in Philly, the Philly like ballroom legends, and Sanaya is one of them. I don't know if you guys know Sanaya, but I know Sanaya. I don't know her, but I know of her. Like, all of my friends in the ballroom scene know her. I never met her, but I know of her. Since I was like a kid, she's been doing this. She's been walking the balls since I was a child, okay? That was so dope to see her in that scene, and she still looks great. She is one of the people. So it was smart that she was on this episode, because she is somebody who has done, you know, those injections and things of that nature. So it was smart to have her on this episode, walking body. Smart. Smart. Viv won her runway category, then fell the hell out. Wow. I'm telling you, they are going there. They are telling you all the tea. Everything that happens in real life with these illegal silicone injections, they are putting it in every scene, and they are letting you know the whole truth. They ain't leaving nothing out. Bravo. Like, inadvertently, Pray Tell has become like the father of the house of Evangelista, because for some reason he just ends up being the one to take the boys to get tested. He takes Poppy, he takes Ricky, he takes Damon to get tested, and he shows them how to do it as well when he leads out and he gets tested, and everybody comes back negative but Pray Tell, who was like, I don't get tested because I don't want to know. And I'm telling you, they always say, as soon as you know, you start to die. Like they say it with cancer, and they say it with AIDS as well. As soon as you know that you have this disease, you start to, or like an internal sickness, you can either look at it two ways. You can either look at it like it's not going to beat me, or you start to fall into this depression and you just silently start to kill yourself before the disease can even do that to you. And it's just, oh my gosh, when Pray Tell was just like, I need a moment. How am I going to go out there and tell them boys? Like, how can I face them? Like, I was like, no, Pray Tell, not Papa. Not Papa. Oh, man. I'm telling you, I for sure thought that it was going to either be Damon or Ricky. Then I was just like, when it wasn't Damon or Ricky, I was like, okay, it's going to be Poppy, right? Because Poppy was like, I'm an equal opportunity lover. So I was like, it got to be Poppy. And then when it got to Pray Tell, I was like, not my Pray Tell. Pray Tell and Blanca, oh my gosh, two of the best characters on this show. Two of the characters that get your heart every episode now have this life-threatening disease at that time. Ryan Murphy, you're killing me. You're killing me, Smalls. So then Pray Tell has to tell Blanca. And it's weird because remember at the beginning when Pray Tell was going off on Blanca for like not really taking it seriously? It seems like the roles have been reversed and Blanca is going off on Pray Tell. Like, how could you, like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? And then they have this moment of clarity and they both sit down in silence, and then Blanca's just like, okay, well, what can we do? How can we, like, she just totally switched roles with Pray Tell. And then Pray Tell says this one line, and I'm telling you, it speaks for that whole decade where LGBT trans men and women of color were dying from AIDS and nothing was being done. Nothing. Because even Pray Tell, he was just like, baby, they don't want to cure it. Honey, they don't want to cure it. That's the truth. That is the absolute truth. Because I don't remember much from that time because, like I said, I was a baby. But I do remember from just my studies about how it was just a push within the evangelical, I'm telling you, evangelicals are dangerous. Within the evangelical community politically, that this was like God cursing the gays for, being gay or having gay sex, and, just it becoming a political stance. So not much was done. And I'm like, wow, you look back at times, you're just like, oh my goodness, I could never live back then. I could never do that. And then you look at today and you're just like, well, kind of living under the same tyranny, just, different vessels, you know what I mean? So it's unfortunate, but I'm telling you, after every episode of this show, I need to like watch a Disney movie or like eat some dessert that makes me happy. Something, not saying that the show is like a downer, but it's just so emotional. It makes you think about so much, and you're left just sometimes feeling helpless, sometimes just being enraged. And then there are scenes or episodes like this where you just sit on your couch after you watch it and you just cry for like a half an hour. And then you still watch the next episode because it's that good. So this episode ends with Angel and Elektra spiraling out of control because they both want reassignment surgery to feel whole. Like for Elektra, she just feels like her I don't know, I don't want to be is it disrespectful if I say penis? Okay, her penis is an inconvenience. It takes away from her being a full woman. And with Angel, she just feels like if she gets this reassignment surgery, she will be a full woman as well, but she will be full enough of a woman to compete with Steve's wife. Right now, she doesn't feel like she can compete because she still has a penis. So it's a lot going on within the both of their minds, and they're like spiraling, and it's a lot. It's a lot to take in. Let me know if you got anything else from that, because I got that Angel was spiraling because she's trying to compete with Steve's wife, and I got that Elektra was spiraling because it's, like she said, it's an inconvenience. Like I'm a woman, and then I have this one part of me that I can't get rid of because my, Detective Stabler wants me to stay that way. And it's, and then even, I didn't even talk about how Detective Stabler is not even coming to terms with his sexuality. You know what I mean? Like, he's just like, I don't know if I just like the fact that you have something that the world doesn't know about, or it's just like, it's so, every episode is full of so much to take in. But what do you guys think about Elektra and Angel? Let me know in the comment section below. Do you think that they're like what I talked about earlier? Do you think that they're spiraling out of control for those reasons, or do you think it's something different or deeper? Let me know. I want to hear everything, because I have one perspective, you have another, there may be more. Let's talk about it. And now let's move on to episode 5. Your real hair is so short you can roll it with rice. I see you're wearing your favorite lip gloss, Sperm. Yes, Elektra. I love this character, and I love the fact that she is showing how to read. Like, it's the beginning of Blanca, and she is showing how you actually read somebody. Because you can insult somebody, you can get down in the dirt with them, or you can be above them and read them. And that is what Elektra is showing us. She is showing us the art of reading, and she did it so flawlessly. Love it! In my last review, I was talking about how I just didn't think that Elektra was a good house mother at all. However, in this throwback, I'm like, she was such a good mother. What happened? I don't know what happened. I don't know if we're ever going to go there and discuss, like, what happened with this total change, like where Elektra went dark. I don't know, but I would, I really hope that we dive into that, because she is a totally different mother to young Blanca than she is today. And I would want to know what happened in between to make her so hardened. So now we get to meet Blanca's family, and we see that scene in the trailer where her sister is calling her Mateo. And every time she called Blanca Mateo, it was like a dagger. Like, first of all, your mother dies, and then you go to see your family, and they don't even respect you by calling you your name, like who you are. They don't even respect you as a person. And I love the fact that Blanca was still bigger than all of them. She was bigger than her sister. She was bigger than her brother. She still did not disrespect her sister. And the fact that her niece didn't even know who she was. Oh my gosh. And it just hurt, because it's not just a story. It's a reality of millions of people whose family just rejects them. And just how, I don't know, Blanca was she gave her sister grace that she didn't deserve. And I was so angry for her. But then I was just like, man, that's what I'm telling you. This character calls me to action. I was just like, you know what? I need to adopt that. You know what I mean? Just giving people grace even when they don't deserve it. Because although I was pissed off for Blanca, the way she looked in that scene compared to her sister who kept on calling her Mateo, I would much rather be a Blanca than anything else. So I don't know, like I said before, like, this character calls me to action, but man, those Mateos hit me every time. I was like, her name is Blanca, like screaming at the TV. And then when she said, Mommy told everybody that you were dead, like, what? Your mother passed, you're in mourning, and you're trying to hurt your sibling? This is the time when y'all all need to come together. You're trying to tear your sister down. Guys, it's so many people's reality. So many people's reality. I pray that people who are watching this, even if you're not telling anybody, it's somebody who's Blanca's sister, who's Blanca's brother, who maybe in the, in the own privacy of your home or whatever, you're watching this show and you're seeing yourself and you change or you do something to make it better, because it's such an ugly mirror. But man, if you can look at this and find yourself and want to do better, the show served its purpose. Because Blanca has lost her mother, she starts reflecting. She starts reflecting on the mother that took her in when she lost her family, when she became who she really is. And that is Elektra. And like I said earlier, we see like the softer side of Elektra. We see I don't know. Like, I would love to know what happened there because she was so great. She read them other film queens down, and then she took Blanca into her home, like, without, like, no type of fight. I was like, oh my goodness, Elektra, this is beautiful. I don't know. I don't know when she became bitter, or I don't know what happened to her. Like I said before, I hope we find out. But this scene with her just nurturing Blanca, it mirrors the scene where she was doing that for Damon, and I loved it. I loved it. I love this show. Come on, FX. So Blanca makes peace with Elektra, but she makes peace with her in the hospital because Elektra got the reassignment surgery. She said to hell with her sponsor, and she knows that she's gonna have to live a different life now. But that shows you how much he wants this. You know what I mean? Like, Detective Stabler told her that if you do this, I'm done. I can't support you anymore because this, how you are, is what I want. If you can't give me that, then we can't be in this relationship. I can't take care of you anymore. And she's losing her livelihood for 10 years. So it lets you know how much she wants this and she needs this to be whole. And in that moment of her just like being very vulnerable and weak, she is able to make amends with Blanca because Blanca comes in and she's just like, listen, stop all that mean stuff. I want to thank you. I want to thank you. I lost one mother, but I want to thank the mother that I still have. And it was just a really, really beautiful scene. And although I don't think, because you can see later in the episode, they're not friends anymore, but they had that moment that was very powerful. And I think it really spoke to the fact that there's still love there, but Elektra's so hardened that we're not going to get the past Elektra, because whatever made her this present Elektra is just so powerful that this like hardened Elektra is the one that is ever present. And it's unfortunate because I love throwback Elektra. Loved her. Okay, all of Blanca's family is trash. However, I want to know why her brother called her a child molester. Like, what that was just like brushed over. Was it something that maybe her brother said to like get the family to not like her? I don't know, but it was just brushed over. Child molester, and then like nothing else was addressed after that. And I was like, oh, are we gonna get there? Are we gonna talk about that? Because we're a couple episodes in. I don't know how many episodes we got in this season, but I don't think we have a ton. So I'm like, can we address that? What happened? You know what? Taking a break from this show allowed me to realize that I cry a lot when I watch this show. I knew I cried every episode, but like when you have to take a break and just like get yourself together, it takes a lot out of you. It really, really does. And doing these episodes back to back, like guys, I was drained. I watched these episodes a few days ago. I had to get myself together to be able to review it because it was just a lot. It was a lot going on. It was just a lot emotionally. And I was just like, I got to get myself together. So I don't recommend watching Pose back to back if you have anything else to do the next few days, because it's just, your emotions are going to be all over the place. And I especially do not recommend watching this show when you're on your cycle, ladies. Like, whoo! This show will send you. Just a FYI. And I said all that because this scene particularly really got me in my heart, and that was when Blanca's sister showed up with her mother's recipe book. It was right in the middle when Blanca was essentially walking in her mother's essence by teaching Damon how to make these pancakes. Because like earlier in the scene, we got a flashback of Blanca cooking with her mother, and just we were able to see how she passed that on with Damon, even though she wasn't like intentionally doing it. You know how sometimes you start to do something and you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm my mother. That's what that scene was about. And then to have her sister show up and give her her mother's recipe book because she knew that she would want it, and she was just like, I lied. She felt so bad. Mommy never said that you died. She loved you. She wanted to see you. She just felt so bad how she treated you. And then it just spoke to forgiveness, because I know that Blanca was hurt by her family. You could see how horrible her family was. But I think her sister had her biggest issue with Blanca was the fact that she left when her mother was sick. And I don't know if Blanca is older than her sister. It seems like her sister is in the middle. It seems like the sister is in the middle of Blanca and her older brother. because she just seems very meek and just very like, oh my gosh, trying to keep the peace. And when Blanca showed up, she wasn't, like, she was disrespectful by calling her Mateo, but a lot of her anger was coming from, where were you? So I think that's the issue, and I hope we see more of her and her sister in doing some healing, because it seems like the sister really does love Blanca, but she was angry that Blanca left at a time when her mom was sick. So it seems like she had to take on that just the everyday struggle of her mother just being sick and dying. And we all know situations like that where there is a parent that's dying, and then there's siblings who, you know, some live out of state, some are like working all the time, and then you have the one who just has the time to do it, who becomes resentful of the other ones who weren't there carrying that burden. So I think that's what we're dealing with here. But anyway, I love that she, you know, she gave Blanca that peace. She gave Blanca that peace, because Blanca really needed that, to have your mother die and it just be like, oh, she hated you, she told people that you were dead, and you know, you don't have any kind of closure with that, really. So I was glad that Blanca got her closure. And I was glad that her family, her found family, stood up for her at that funeral. And I was glad that Pray Tell got that lady together who tried to call her Mateo, and then she fixed it up, Blanca. I'm glad that she had people there to support her. Her family, her found family, the family that she put together was there to ride for her. I love that. I really, really did, because I just felt like it really showed, not just within like the LGBT community, but just like with people in general. Like, I have my own found family. There are some family issues that I'm dealing with, you know, one side of my family doesn't really recognize me, and I've had to like cultivate my own kind of family, and I wouldn't trade them in for the world. You know what I mean? We just found each other through just struggle or joy or whatever, just a time in life, and we are a close-knit family, and they will ride for me. They will ride for me till the wheels fall off. And that scene just reminded me of how my found family rallied around me when one side of my family was trying to disrespect me. And yeah, so I'm telling you, you don't have to be of this community to be touched. These are just human characters, and I find so much of myself so many times in these episodes, because I can relate to so many things, because I'm a human like the rest of the characters on this show, and I can relate to these stories, because if you just take out, you know, who people love, and you know how people are crafted and how they craft themselves, and you just really get down to the humanity of each character, they're so relatable. So relatable. So that's why I'm just like, I am always an emotional wreck. And I guess it's because I'm finding a lot of myself in certain scenes. So after all that crying, we get messy, because Stan's wife is figuring out now that he's cheating. Like, and she wants to know who her competition is, so she runs up on Angel. Like, she gets all of the business, all of like where she's staying. She gets it from James Van Der Beek, but she just does her own little investigating. And I have a problem with this, and I don't know if this is like illegal, but Stan got that apartment for Angel, right? He put his money, his information down. For the landlord to tell Stan's wife, he didn't even know she was a wife, but just to volunteer that information about who actually stays there, all of this stuff, I was like, can you do that? Or maybe it's unethical, whatever it was. I just was like, wait a minute, Mr. Landlord. Why are you telling his business? Even though Stan is trash and I don't agree with what he's doing, I also don't agree with that landlord like telling all the tea to somebody he don't really know. He don't know who this person is, and you're giving them all this information, and could put Angel in a situation where she could be harmed. Although, looking at next week's episode, it doesn't seem like she'll be harmed. It seems like maybe they're going to join forces. I don't know. But they are going to meet, and I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to be a fight. I don't know if Angel's going to tell her that she's trans. I don't know what it is. But I will be there next week to review it. I'm going to be filming on Sunday, so this review, you probably won't get it until Tuesday. If it has to come later, I'll let you guys know. But thank you so much for sticking with me. I hope this review suffices. I tried to put as many juicy things in there, things that really touch me in the review so that we could discuss. Let me know what you think about this review. Let me know what you think about these episodes. Let me know if you want to talk about anything that I left out, or if there's anything that you got another perspective on. Write it down in the comment section below. And if you like what you see here, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will see you next week for the following episode of Pose. Bye, guys. Love ya.